People have been asking me since August to talk about the curriculums I chose for my daughter's first grade homeschool curriculum. It's now October, but better late than never. Anytime I mention homeschooling, I always get the question of why we choose to homeschool, so if that is something you're wondering about, I am happy to make a separate video. The requirements for homeschooling is different in every state. In South Carolina, you have to track your progress and keep some sort of organizer. This is the organizer I chose. I got it from Amazon, and then I took it to Office Depot and got the spine cut off and got it spiral bound. This is the planner portion of the organizer. I've got the classes abbreviated over here. Days at the top. Evelyn is on a Monday through Thursday academic instruction plan, and then Fridays are reserved for field trips. In South Carolina, you have to have 180 instructional days, and anything can be considered learning, including field trips. I try to pre-fill this in as much as possible to make my weeks ahead easier, but some of these curriculums aren't lesson-based, they're time-based. So math, for example, she just does 30 minutes of, and I can't fill it in until I know what lesson she starts on. I also do a daily schedule with times to keep me on track. I do this in 4-week blocks because her writing curriculum is based on monthly book studies. Most of Evelyn's core curriculum is printed, but I do emphasize some online learning so that she can be familiar with how to use a computer and the internet. For math, we do Beast Academy online. They do have print materials that people really enjoy, but we opt just to do the online version. A lot of the lessons include comic book style learning, which Evelyn really enjoys, but they also have video tutorials, and the tutor is kind of hot, that are really helpful for her too. For history, we do Curiosity Chronicles. I opted to do the print book as well as the audio book that narrates this, and it's a conversation between Ted and Mona that teaches about ancient history. It also comes with a student workbook and a teacher's guide. This is really easy to follow. For writing, I use a company called Brave Writer. They do a writing curriculum based on books and a creative writing curriculum. We use both. There's different levels for the book writing. The one Evelyn uses are the darts, and this month we're doing Ra, the Mighty, the Crocodile Caper. Each book is a different genre. It teaches different POVs, different literary devices. Last month we did a graphic novel, which Evelyn really enjoyed, and the writing is based on dictation straight from the book in different ways. The creative writing level we're doing is partnership writing. Each month is a different topic. Last month was secret codes. This month is personal timelines. So with my help, she's going to learn how to do research, gather information, ask questions, and make a timeline. For science, we do Mystery Science online. We are on Moon and Stars right now, and each lesson is very easy to follow. It tells you what you have to print out for prep. You can edit everything you need down to the size of students, because a lot of public school classrooms use Mystery Science. Obviously, it's just me, so I only need one thing for each project. Most lessons have hands-on activities, but they also do like read-alongs, and they also have mini lessons if you have a day that you don't want to do a full science lesson. For social studies, we very briefly cover Studies Weekly. It's based on South Carolina standards, and it just teaches basics of government, democracy, community, but we supplement heavily with going to the library and reading books on inclusion, decolonized history, age-appropriate stuff, but things that this wouldn't teach. For reading and spelling, I use the same company, All About Reading, All About Spelling. She's starting on level 1 for All About Spelling, even though she knows pretty much all the principles in this, because she still spells phonetically, which is very age appropriate for a first grader, but I want to make sure she has the foundation down before challenging her. As opposed to her reading, she's starting at the highest level because she reads at a 3rd and 4th grade level, maybe even higher, and she doesn't need the foundation so much as needs to be challenged on reading concepts. Both curriculums come with a student workbook as well as a teacher's guide. There is pre-prep involved with this, mainly cutting. If you're wondering the difference between this reading curriculum and this reading curriculum, this one teaches the mechanics of writing through books, whereas this one focuses on the decoding of language. If I'm being completely honest, of all the curriculums I used, I learned the most from this reading curriculum because I didn't learn decoding when I was in school, when I was in 1st grade. And this has taught me a ton about the basics of English language and why things are spelled or sounded out the way they are. For both the reading and spelling curriculums, they utilize the Letter Tiles app to teach some of the mechanics of their lessons. It's been really helpful for us, but it is entirely optional. You could teach it without it. Grammar specifically isn't a core subject, but I still want to keep her practicing these concepts. So once a week, we do the Evan Moore Daily Language Review for grade 1. Now on to extracurriculars. We do Spanish and chess through Duolingo. If you didn't know, Duolingo now has chess. She knew how to play chess prior to this year, and a lot of her practice also comes from playing games with my stepdad. 2 subjects that Evelyn requested that I cover this year is typing, which we do for free through Typetastic Online, and then she also wanted to do cursive, which I use Handwriting Without Tears Cursive Kickoff. Additionally, she attends a co-op once a week for art and music. The music class is taught by an actual certified music teacher, and we decided if she likes it, she's playing the xylophone this year, we will pay for private lessons through that same teacher. There's also a physical education requirement in the state of South Carolina, which we fulfill through Taekwondo twice a week, as well as playing sports through the YMCA. For the weekly field trips, I try to tie in themes from the writing curriculum and the book we're reading that month. This month we're reading Ra the Mighty, the Crocodile Caper. It's about ancient Egypt and detectives collecting clues. So the field trip this week is Riverbanks Zoo and finding animals that you might find in ancient Egypt. So we're going to focus on reptiles and big cats and collect clues about each animal, like their habitat or their diet. But next week, I don't really have anything to tie into the book, so we are going to my high school alma mater's football game against our big rival, and I'm just going to teach her about football. So that is the gist of the curriculums that I am using for this year. Everybody is different, every kid is unique, and this is what works for us for right now.